Hi there, and you're very welcome to Student Spotlight. Today we're speaking to Orla Ni Chuinn, who is second year student of music and Nua-Ghaeilge. Diagwit, Orla?
Diagwit.
I won't embarrass myself too much more with my Irish, which is fairly poor, but I could have taught you. I want to go on.
Oh, make a heat talk.
Heat talk, yes. Will too. Anish, where are you in the country right now? Where are you speaking to us from?
I am at home in Cavan at the moment. I'm just in my room.
Okay. Yeah, you're at home. Obviously, we're all at home at the moment. And you had lived on campus, I think you said, before, certainly during some stage during your degree so far. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Where were you living?
So last year I was in first year and I was in the River Apartments. So I was with 4 boys and 1 other girl, and they're ensuite apartments. Really, really enjoyed it. It was brilliant. At the start, I was a bit apprehensive because I was living with mostly boys because I came from a girls' school. But I did get on really well with them, and we were all quite like different people, like kind of people, but we did get on really well, and there was always a bit of crack between us. And I was also lucky because I had friends living on campus too, so I could literally just pop around to them whenever I wanted. But yeah, I really enjoyed the apartments. And then this year, in semester 1, I was in the scéim chónaithe, which is the part of the on-campus residencies that's like set aside for Irish speakers. So you don't have to be from the Gaeltacht, or you don't have to be kind of fluent in Irish. Like, I'm not fully fluent in Irish, but I wanted to be in the scéim. It's called the scéim chónaithe, and I wanted to be in it because I wanted to maintain my spoken Irish. And everyone there just speaks Irish all the time. It's like living through Irish, which sounds a little bit daunting, but I would recommend it too, because you're just constantly speaking it. You're constantly like improving, and everyone's there, like everyone's like in the same boat and are encouraging each other to like speak it. And yeah, I really like it.
There's nothing like full immersion in the language to improve your ability and your spoken ability. And were those people that you were sharing with from all different parts of the country, or were they all from kind of Gaeltacht areas, or were they like yourself, just from the non-Gaeltacht area?
Yeah, non-Gaeltacht areas actually. And you don't actually have to be studying Nua-Ghaeilge in Maynooth either to do it. Like, if you have the interest in Irish and if you want to keep up your Irish, go for it. But yeah, like, no one in my apartment in semester 1 were actually from the Gaeltacht. Okay. And yeah, so
that's very interesting for those that might like to avail of that opportunity. But you're at home at the moment, and it's heading into semester 2 now of your second year. Can you roll back to first year, and before you started in Maynooth, thinking about college and thinking about what you wanted to study when you're doing your leaving cert? So as a student in Loreto and Cavan, what were you researching around courses?
Like, when I throughout school, I was never exactly sure what kind of job I wanted to go into. I kind of played with different ideas like journalism and primary teaching and secondary teaching and a load of different things. I think that's a thing that a lot of students in secondary school, a lot of them aren't sure exactly what they want to do. But basically, I think my siblings or my parents told me about the arts degree, and also my guidance counselor in school kind of talked about arts degrees in general. And I was like, that's actually quite a good kind of degree to go into if I'm not exactly sure. So I kind of looked at different arts degrees in different colleges, and I kind of came to a conclusion that those 3 kind of subject areas I was very interested in, or I could see myself going into a career regarding, or like to do with them subject areas. And they were Irish music and something to do with media studies, so, or like journalism, that kind of area. So basically I looked at different colleges, and the only college that allowed me to do all 3 of them was in Maynooth. And funnily enough, the year I started, 2019, was the first year that media and cultural studies was brought in as an art subject. So I was that I could do all three of them subjects then in my arts degree in first year. But yeah, so, and also I chose Maynooth then in the end as well, because I went to a lot of different open days, and Maynooth definitely stood out to me as soon as I got there. It was very warm, like kind of homely atmosphere when I was there, and I really, really liked it, and everyone was so friendly, and I liked the way it was like a kind of a college town, or like a university town, so everything's quite close together, whereas with other colleges they're a lot more spread, everything's a lot more spread out, and the campuses are much bigger, and like that was kind of scary to me, because like I don't know, I really big places, like I don't know, I liked the smaller, kind of more condensed campuses, and living on campus was really handy then, because I could easily go to and from like the lectures on campus, and yeah, so that's kind of why I did it in the end.
Sounds like a really good setup, actually. Well done on finding the degree with the subjects that you wanted to study, and also then living on campus, and how sort of how convenient that is in terms of getting into lectures and things. And so you had those three subjects, and you had the opportunity then to do a fourth subject in first year. So did you choose a fourth subject?
Yeah, I did critical skills as my fourth subject, and it was very good. See, there wasn't really a fourth kind of other proper subject that I wanted to do. So I chose critical skills as my fourth option, and it was very good. It really helped me like develop certain skills that would be really helpful in not just in college, but I think going on and pursuing a career, such as we looked at like kind of presentation skills, essay writing skills, like how to write a perfect kind of college essay, and how to research for like get like information for your essays, and like how to properly reference, and like really invaluable skills to have in college, and when you go on to do your like a job afterwards. So like I'm thinking of going into primary school teaching at the moment, so like learning or getting experience presenting in front of people was obviously going to be very helpful for me if I go on to doing teaching, that kind of thing. So yeah, critical skills was excellent. Now yeah, and we did teamwork activities as well. It was very enforced in second semester. We had a lot of group activities and group assignments, which is very good.
So a really good sort of a foundation for you to continue on and into second year and into the rest of your degree. As I say, those skills they're great to have, and they're really useful when it comes to referencing essays and all the presenting and all the various skills that you pick up. But did you sample any of the other subjects? I mean, you say the other proper subjects, as in the ones that you can continue on with into your second and third year. Did you try out any other subjects in those first 4 weeks?
I actually didn't, and it was because those three subjects I had said were ones I 100% wanted to try out. I have a little bit of regret that I didn't try like subjects such as like French, because I do like languages, like I do Irish, but I knew that like three subjects were the three that I wanted to keep on doing in first year. So no, I didn't exactly try out other subjects, but it's good that that's like an opportunity you can kind of avail of in first year if you do the arts degree.
Yeah. How did you find then moving from the Leaving Cert and maybe 7 subjects? I imagine you did something around 7 subjects, and then you're doing 4 subjects in Maynooth, and it's an entirely different way of learning. How did you find that transition?
It's quite a big transition, because in secondary school, especially when it comes to kind of assignments in secondary school, it's all kind of going down towards, like your whole grade is going towards, it's just all going towards the Leaving Cert basically, which I didn't like, because I always would have preferred like continuous assessments and that kind of thing. And in college, it is pretty much all continuous assessment, especially at the moment. You get assignments and essays to do, and the style of like kind of writing in college is quite a bit different from secondary school, because in college they look for kind of for you to do research, like your own research, and look up like kind of academic sources, which was very confusing at start. I think it is for every college student. It's quite confusing at the start, but your lecturers are always there for you, and just email them and look for help. But I think, yeah, as I said, critical skills is really good. I would recommend it if you feel like you're gonna struggle a lot with the college kind of aspect of
a really good
stuff.
subject is to pick up, and that'll help you
really
maybe with that transition, with the academic transition. What about the social transition then? So moving from school and into the university, which is sort of 14,000 students now. You said you knew some friends from school who had been on the campus, so that was, I guess, really helpful.
Yeah, I had a few. There was about 5 or 6 from my old school that went to Maynooth, and there was a couple that I knew from like the boys' school in Cavan as well. So there was a couple. It wasn't too many, but it was fine. So I was lucky in that sense. But yeah, the social aspect. I made like a lot of new friends when I came to Maynooth, and I feel like I made I don't want to say proper friends, but like I met so many more people that were more like me in Maynooth, which I really liked, because I feel like in school you're like kind of stuck to people, or like, I don't know, like when you come to school, when you're coming to college, you're going to meet people that are doing the same course as you and have the same interests as you. Like, I'm very passionate about Irish. And when I came to Maynooth, I finally met people that were just as like passionate about Irish as me, and kind of like I can have a conversation with in Irish, which is really cool. And like I came from a English speaking school, so I finally got to like kind of meet people and speak Irish to them. And yeah, I was involved in I was a member of the Cúlach Columcille, which is the Irish Society in Maynooth, and I met amazing people there and a whole new group of friends, really. And it was brilliant, and they had loads of different events and stuff. Like they had this thing called Tail Display, and it was happening every week, and you just went in and met people that like Irish like you, and you just talk in Irish, but there's no pressure. It's not like an Irish oral in secondary school. Like, there's no pressure on you. Just speak whatever Irish you have, and everyone's, again, like in the scéim chónaithe, everyone's supportive. Yeah, and like Tail Display, you have a little bit of tea and a couple of biscuits. Like, it was really nice. Like, I went every week and I made so many friends there.
Great. And is that in the Nua-Ghaeilge, that's in the arts box? Yeah. That's great. And so what about, Irish is clearly a real passion for you then. What about the music side of things? Any particular area that, I guess, assignment that you've done in music that you've really enjoyed?
Yeah, this year we did a module on the introduction in composition, which was like nearly completely new to me. For Leaving Cert Music, you do a little bit of composition, but goes into kind of more detail, obviously, in college, but still, it was still an introduction to it, so it wasn't too hard. But I had that in first semester of second year, so the year I'm in now, and it was very enjoyable because it kind of let me bring out my creative side and like literally compose anything. Like, the assignments were very open, like you could kind of compose whatever you want, like kind of just like unleash your like creativity, like. And it was really good, and we had like this software on a computer we had to download this software that was free and to compose our music, and you could like play it back and listen to it from your computer. Like, you didn't have to play it on your instrument or anything. It was very cool.
What's your instrument? What do you play, Orla?
I play the piano. That would be my main instrument, but I also I sing as well, but I like piano would be my main one because I've done grades on it. So, but in Maynooth, like, I would say if you're considering music, don't be too worried if you feel like if you don't play too many instruments, because I know when I was in like 6th year, I didn't know whether or not to do music because I didn't know if I was good enough at music. I didn't know if I was like as professional enough, or like, because I only played really the piano and I sang a bit, but I felt like maybe I shouldn't do music because I can't play all these instruments, and there's people in my class who play all these instruments and I'm so jealous of them. I still am. I would love to play all these instruments, but don't worry if you can only play one, or if you aren't too high of a grade. You don't even have to be high in a grade, because whenever you do music in Maynooth, you're taught from the beginning in piano, you're taught keyboard skills, and you can be grade 0. You don't have to have any grades done. You'll be, by the end of the 3 years, you'll know like quite a bit on how to play the keyboard, which is really nice because I think it's really good.
Great. So there's plenty of opportunities to develop your skill set in the music subject as well. That's brilliant. Tell me, what are you thinking? You said primary school teaching, maybe secondary school teaching. What would be the route? Then can you give a little outline to anyone who might be considering that themselves? What's the route towards that type of a career?
So if you're interested in doing secondary school teaching through the arts degree, so you do your 3 years in Maynooth doing your arts degree, studying your 2 like kind of teaching subjects. So for me it would be Nua-Ghaeilge or Irish and music. You do your 3 years in arts, doing your arts degree, and then you graduate. And before you graduate, you have to apply for the PME, so the Professional Master of Education. And there's a couple of colleges that will that like kind of supply that course for you.
Maynooth being one of the most, I guess, most teachers in Ireland, or indeed majority have come to Maynooth at some stage during their educational career.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do the PME in Maynooth, and indeed that's where I did it once upon a time.
Yeah. So
and then also the same with the primary school teaching, isn't it? So you would apply then to the PME in your final
you just
year.
apply for the PMEs in your final year, and then there's kind of a whole process with that, but it's kind of like interviews and that kind of thing, and that's it really. And then you do your PME for 2 years, and then you're going to be a teacher
Out in the world and earning a crust. That's a little bit down the line anyway. So for now, anyway, you're in second year, and you'll continue on with your 2 subjects then in your final year. And what words of advice do you have for somebody who's in your position, maybe who's considering the arts degree, considering Maynooth?
I would say if they were like just kind of prospective students, what advice would I give?
Yeah.
I would say do your research, know what you're kind of getting into. I would say try to go to the open days. Like they might not be on campus kind of proper open days, but at least like go to the virtual open days. I know Maynooth did that last year. But try to do as much research as you can, and there's so many people there for you to help you. Like turn to your siblings, turn to your parents, turn to your like guidance counsellor in school. I went to my guidance counsellor in school, and he was very helpful. Go to teachers, like you know what your teacher did in college, like ask them questions, like, and or if you wanted to be a teacher in maths, say go to your maths teacher and ask them, like they be so there to help you, like they want to help you. And just do as much research as you possibly can, basically.
Yeah, I think that's key as well, and really know what is involved in the degree that you're going to study, because it's a very different story, isn't it? When you actually arrive on campus, it's not the same as you might have expected it to be in your leaving cert year. Thank you very much, Orla. And best of luck for semester 2, okay?
Thank you.